करते हैं। You open your eyes and you can turn on the cameras. कैमरा ऑन कर सकते हैं सभी लोग। So yes, we are joined today by Nikhil ji. Nikhil ji is a Sumeru Sandhya singer, and yes, he runs his music academy, his and recording studio. He's also a teacher teaching piano online, and so glad to have him with us today. Also joining us is Asheesh Pal ji. He's a bachelor's in engineering from National Institute of Technology, Hamirpur, and has a vast experience working in corporates like ABB, Acme, has been director at CV Energies and a business owner for Enchanting Himalayas Tours and Travels. And currently, he is working as a senior trainer at the Sri Sri School of Yoga, and of course, training the teachers who are the Sri Sri Yoga teachers. So we are so glad that we are joined by Asheesh Palji today. So we begin with a bhajan, Asheesh ji. Is that?
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So over to you, Nikhil ji. Yeah.
वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा गणेश 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 ओम गाओ गणेश 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 गाओ गणेश 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 गाओ गणेश गणपति बापा मोरया गणेश ओम 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 सिद्धि विनायक गणेश ओम लंबोदर गणेश ओम विश्वधारा गणेश ओम मंगल मूर्ति गणेश ओम मोरया रे बापा मोरया बापा मोरया रे, मोरया रे बापा मोरया रे, मोरया रे बापा मोरया रे। गणेश शरणं शरणं गणेशा, गणेश शरणं शरणं गणेशा, गणेश शरणं शरणं गणेशा, गणेश शरणं शरणं गणेशा, गणेश शरणं शरणं गणेशा। Let's keep our eyes closed. Let's welcome Lord Shri Ganesha at your homes. And you all can write in chat also, so that मुझे भी पता लगे कि सबको ठीक से आवाज आ रहा है. Yeah, those who are keeping their videos on, their chat box should be on. वीडियो ऑफ रख सकते हो तो चैट शुड बी ऑन. आप अपना लिखते रहो कैसा लग रहा है आपको. या नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे. नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे. नारायण नारायण जय गोविंद हरे. नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे. नारायण नारायण जय गोपाल हरे. तुझ में नारायण मुझ में नारायण, तुझ में नारायण मुझ में नारायण, तुझ में नारायण मुझ में नारायण, तुझ में नारायण मुझ में नारायण. जहाँ देखूं वहीं नारायण नारायण, जहाँ देखूं वहीं नारायण नारायण. माता नारायण पिता नारायण, माता नारायण पिता नारायण. गुरु नारायण नारायण नारायण, गुरु नारायण नारायण नारायण. ब्रह्मा नारायण विष्णु नारायण, ब्रह्मा नारायण विष्णु नारायण ब्रह्मा नारायण विष्णु नारायण बोला नारायण 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 बोला नारायण 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 ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिवाय ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिवाय हर 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 महादेवा 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 शिव 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 सदा शिवा शिव 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 सदा शिवा जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा ओम जय गुरु ओंकारा जय जय सद्गुरु ओंकारा ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिवाय हर 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 महादेवा ब्रह्मा विष्णु सदा शिवाय हर 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 महादेवा हर 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 महादेवा हर 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 महादेवा Let's keep our eyes closed. कर्पूरगौरं करुणावतारं संसारसारं भुजगेन्द्रहारं सदा वसन्तं हृदयारविन्दे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि शंकर संकटहरना शंकर संकटहरना शिव कैलाशों के वासी धौली धारों के राजा शंकर संकट हरना ओ ओ भोले बाबा शंकर संकट हरना। शिव कैलाशों के वासी धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। ओ भोले बाबा शंकर संकट हरना। तेरे कैलाशों का अंत न पाया, तेरे कैलाशों का अंत न पाया। अंत बेअंत तेरी माया, ओ भोले बाबा अंत बेअंत तेरी माया। ओ शंकर संकट हरना। ओ भोले बाबा शंकर संकट हरना। शिव कैलाशों के वासी धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। ओ भोले बाबा शंकर संकट हरना। दीनन के प्रभु शंकर प्यारे, दीनन के प्रभु शंकर प्यारे। भक्तन के मन मेरी राजे, तू भोले बाबा भक्तन के मन मेरी राजे। ओ शंकर संकट हरना। ओ भोले बाबा शंकर संकट हरना। शिव कैलाशों के वासी धौली धारों के राजा, शंकर संकट हरना। शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। क्रोध को लोभ को मैं भस्म कर रहा हूँ। शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। हो तेरी बनाई दुनिया में कोई तुझे सा मिला नहीं। मैं तो भटका दर बदर, कोई किनारा मिला नहीं। जितना पास तुझको पाया उतना खुद से दूर जा रहा हूँ। शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। क्रोध को लोभ को मैं भस्म कर रहा हूँ। शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। शिव शिव समा रहे मुझ में और मैं शून्य हो रहा हूँ। Let's keep our eyes closed and you can write in chat कैसा लगा सभी को, अच्छा लग रहा है सुनने में। थोड़ा हम लोगों को अच्छा लगता है ऐसे मैसेजेस पढ़ के कि हाँ ठीक सबको अच्छा लग रहा है।
It is absolutely melodious and so
Thank you.
soothing and relaxing, Nikhil ji. Yes. So, Ashish Bhaiya, should we have a question answer, or would you first guide us as to what is yoga, what is the aim of yoga, and then we have a couple of questions if we can take them.
Thank you, Jayesh, and beautiful Satsang by Nikhil Rekhi, and all the people, those who are here to partake this beautiful prasad of togetherness, that belongingness of art of living. And Gurudev has always said that all the art of living people, they believe in Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that is having one world family. And even though we might be connected through internet and Zoom as a medium, but yet there is something that passes through the center of our heart. And this is what in reality is yoga. So often when we say yoga is asana, yoga is containing your mind or the modulations of the mind, we try and picturize yoga because this is something we have learned over many years, that yoga is this, yoga is that. Is it not true? Yes or no? Yes. तो ये हम योग की जो परिभाषा है ये धारणा बना लेते हैं अपने मन में। किस वजह से? क्योंकि कहीं ना कहीं हमारे चित्त में जो एक योग की परिभाषा कई वर्षों से हमारे एक गड़ गई है, जड़ता प्राप्त कर गई है, उस वजह से कहीं ना कहीं हम योग का असली जो अर्थ है उसे कहीं हल्का सा दूर हो जाते हैं। तो आज ये जो एक खूबसूरत संगीत जो मिला है हमें निखिल रेखी द्वारा, और ये जो हमारा जो सत्संग बना है, यहाँ पे सत्य की जो संगति बनी है, जो हमारे सबके दिल मिले हैं, हम सबकी जो वाणियां हैं वो मिली हैं, तो इसे ही एक योग कहते हैं। योग का अर्थ है जोड़ना। यूनाइटिंग मीन्स योगा, इट कम्स फ्रॉम द रूट वर्ड युज। युज मीन्स यूनियन, योकिंग। तो मन को भी जोड़ देना भी योग है। तो जरूरी नहीं कि अगर आप आसन कर रहे हैं, आप योगा मैट में जाके शिष्य स्कूल ऑफ योगा में अगर आप टीचर बन रहे हैं या शिष्य योगा कर रहे हैं, क्रिया कर रहे हैं, तभी आप योगी हैं। आप योगी इस हर क्षण में हैं, बस उसे जानना मात्र जरूरी है ना। तो सबसे योग का सबसे पहला जो एक स्टेप है जिसे हम बोलते हैं वो ये है खाली हो जाना। जो भी परिभाषाएं आज तक हमने समझी जानी उसे यहीं छोड़ के जो इस घड़ी इस क्षण हमें मिल रहा है उसे पूर्ण रूप से जी लेना। और निखिल ने कितने सुंदरता से वो शिव कैलाशों के वासी का एक सुंदर संगीत हमें सुनाया। हाँ, तो देखिए गुरुदेव बोलते हैं कि जो शिव है वो क्या है। शिव एक तत्व है, लेकिन अगर हम उसको पौराणिक सिद्धांत के हिसाब से अगर देखें, जो हमारे पुराणों में जो कहानियां गई बताई गई हैं उसके सिद्धांत पे देखें, तो शिव क्या है? शिव एक ऐसी चीज है जो कि बहुत ही ज्यादा अट्रैक्टिव है। इट इज अ वेरी अट्रैक्टिव थिंग, एंड व्हेन देयर इज समथिंग अट्रैक्टिव यू वुड वांट टू हैव इट। यस और नो, राइट? मार्केट में नया आईफोन 13 प्रो आया, बहुत ही सुंदर दिखने में, तो मन कर गया कि मैं तो आईफोन 13 प्रो लेना चाहता हूं या चाहती हूँ। ऐसा होता है कि नहीं होता है? एटलीस्ट जिनके पास आईफोन है वो तो चाहते ही चाहते हैं। राइट? अब देखिए, हम शिव का जब भी नाम लेते हैं साथ में हमेशा पार्वती जुड़ी है। पार्वती क्या है? पार्वती जो शब्द है वो बना है पर्वत से। पर्वत क्या है? एक बहुत बड़ा एक पर्व, एक सेलिब्रेशन। और साथ ही संस्कृत में पर्व, पर्वत का एक और अर्थ है जो है डिजायर। तो जब हमारे हृदय में उस शिव को प्राप्त करने के लिए इतनी गहन गहराई और डिजायर क्रिएट हो जाती है, तो उस समय हमें शिव मिल जाते हैं। तो ये जो योग का पूरा हमारा जो जर्नी है, जो रास्ता है, वो क्या है? पार्वती को शिव के साथ मिल जाना। हम तो पुराणों में ये एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुल एक स्टोरी सुनाते हैं। स्टोरी सबको पसंद है ना, है ना? तो एक बार पार्वती भगवान और माता जी और शिव भगवान दोनों के बीच में थोड़ी सी अनबनी हो गई। हस्बैंड वाइफ, हस्बैंड वाइफ जो भी यहाँ हस्बैंड वाइफ है वो तो जानते ही हैं। तो पार्वती जी और शिव जी भी इससे छूटे नहीं थे। सो इवन पार्वती एंड शिव वाज नॉट एस्केपिंग दिस साइकिल ऑफ marriage. So there was something that happened between the two, and Parvati ji was very angry. So what was the solution for that? So what Shiva did was he opened up his iPhone. Shiva, modern days iPhone. He took the iPhone and he opened Make My Trip application uh, on the phone, and he started booking some 5 days 4 night at some place in South India, and they decided. So Parvati was very happy. Now Parvati was very happy, so she went towards the the sea, and they were both walking and taking a stroll. And Parvati was confused that why do the people want to know you? I, being your holy consort, even I have not known you. So then it is said that Shiva gave this knowledge of yoga to Parvati, and then after having given this knowledge of yoga to Parvati, the Parvati, that desire, when the desire was there inside the heart, then the real knowledge of Shiva became possible to be understood. Otherwise, this knowledge is always there. हम हर व्यक्ति में वो अंदर कहीं ना कहीं शिव तत्व जुड़ा है और पड़ा ही है, लेकिन हमारे में क्या वो इच्छा है उसको जानने की? क्या हम ये अपने आप से प्रश्न करते हैं, मैं कौन हूं? कि मैं सत्संग में आज बैठी हूं, क्या मैं सिर्फ बैठी हूं, या क्योंकि आज मेरे को किसी ने बोल दिया भाई आपको 1 घंटे तक तो बैठना ही बैठना है ना? दोस्त तो ऐसे करते हैं। लेकिन जब हमारे हृदय में वो तड़प जो है वो बढ़ जाए, जब वो राधा बन जाए, है ना, जो धारा है, जो हमारा बाहर मुखी जाने वाला जो मन है, जो धारा से जब वो राधा बन जाए तो वो योग बन गया। जब वो बाहर है तो वो भोग है, और जब वो अंदर है तो वो योग है। तो योग क्या है? एक साथ जुड़ जाना। कई परिभाषाएं हैं, लेकिन इस क्षण में, इस प्रेजेंट मोमेंट में जी जाना, लिविंग इन द प्रेजेंट मोमेंट इज योगा, राइट? So I did try to explain too much in detail, but whatever I said, live it and forget it. Remember that all of us are yogi. Parvati also represent the intellect, Gurudev says. Absolutely. That's why, when we achieve that state of samadhi, dhi means intellect. When the intellect becomes equanimous, it unites with the Shiva. Yes. अगर आपके कोई प्रश्न हैं, Jayesh, if you want to say something.
Yeah, so we have a couple of, that was such a nice way to look at yoga, bhaiya. I mean, really nice. um, there's one question which says, what is that skill that makes a person a yogi?
So, देखिए प्रश्न तो बहुत कठिन है. This question is very tough. What is that skill that makes a person yogi? It's a very simple skill, I tell you. Sahajta. You have to be natural. Often when we are not natural, we try to make up things, right? Is it not true? We try to be this, we try to be that. In wanting to be something else and wanting to do something else, we lose our naturalness. And by losing our naturalness, somewhere that yoga is not happening. But having said that, it does not mean that one should not strive for improvement in his or her own life. Both material improvement and spiritual improvement are both needed to be on the path of yoga. But yet, what is that skill which is needed? To become empty, to be very natural. Because when you are in your nature, you are already a yogi. Have you seen little children? Do you think they are made up? A 5-year-old child or a 4-year-old child will not try to become somebody else. Of course, I mean, they do try. They see a film and they see a cartoon and they try to imitate the cartoon, but they never try to become one because they are very natural. And this naturalness in them makes them a yogi. Gurudev always says that a child is a yogi. Yes, because it has not yet lost its naturalness. वो उसने बच्चे ने अपनी सहजता अभी तक नहीं छोड़ी है. वो जिस प्रकार का है वो वैसा ही है. तभी शायद वो अभी भी योगी है. और हम जैसे जैसे बड़े होते हैं, हम योगा मैट पे जाते हैं, सोचते हैं कि हम योगी बन रहे हैं, परंतु कुछ नहीं होता. यदि आप लोग मुझे इतने सीरियस होकर देखते रहेंगे तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला. If you keep looking at me so seriously, nothing will happen. Right?
So, Ashish Bhaiya,
Hanji.
I want to ask something now because we set the premise yoga beyond asanas and pranayam. तो बहुत लोगों को जैसे आपने ना definition drop करके बैठो, many people still feel only this is yoga. Can you please explain to everybody what are the other aspects of yoga beyond the asanas and pranayam?
So see, like Gurudev says, the most important part in yoga is meditation. And in fact, let's revisit into the definition of what Art of Living as an organization also offers. Art of Living, right from its inception, has always been an organization that imparts yoga knowledge. Because like we explained, yoga is uniting ourselves, our mind with the universal consciousness. What is universal consciousness? It is not something which is present outside in a different planet or somewhere a different galaxy. The consciousness which is there in you, which is in Aruna, which is in Sujata, which is on Preeta, which is on Praveen, this is all universal consciousness, collective consciousness. So somewhere Gurudev also says, but at the same time, it is also important to take care of the body. For example, when we go to a temple, does the temple sanctum remain absolutely dirty? No, right? This temple is also very, very much beautified. And even though there is not so much of a need, because the deity which rests inside the temple is the main point and the energy center of the temple. But yet, all the people, they maintain and do due diligence and maintenance of the temple also. So now, This is the external temple we are talking about. But what about the temple inside? So the Bhagavad Gita first shloka itself, it says, Dharma Kshetra Kurukshetra. So what is the Dharma Kshetra? This Kshetra, that this body is the temple where this war is happening in the mind, whether to do right or wrong. And winning, if you are a yogi, you are always going to win. And when we are saying that a temple needs to be cleansed, that means something needs to be done to the body also. अपने शरीर में हमारे को अच्छा रखना है, स्वस्थ रखना है, ताकि वो 100 साल जिए. लेकिन सिर्फ अगर हम अपने शरीर मात्र पे ही हम फोकस करने लग जाएं, अपनी दृष्टि लगाने लग जाएं, तो कहीं ना कहीं जो गूढ़ अर्थ है योग का, जो कि आपका असली स्वरूप है, जो आपका चेतना है, जो आपका सोल है, उसको हम छोड़ देते हैं. सो व्हाट इज द सोल? व्हाट इज द डियटी इनसाइड ऑफ यू? इट इज द सोल. And what is this body? It is the temple. So along with the body, we also need to make sure that our focus is actually on the soul. So let's consider cleansing the body is also important. When we do yoga, when we do pranayama, we are working on this physical body, and certain level we are also working on the subtle part of our existence. But the reality, the most trueness is having a tranquil state of mind, which brings about a happy and joyous realization that there is something which is inside of us. है ना? तो ये मतलब काफी कठिन है समझना, और गुरुदेव हमेशा कहते हैं कि कुछ प्रश्न के उत्तर नहीं देने चाहिए और ना दिए जा सकते हैं, लेकिन वो प्रश्न अच्छे हैं साथ रखने के लिए, because these questions help you move ahead. But these are not to be answered. And question should bring you in wonder. I don't want this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So from that, angry, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I know. To, oh, I don't know. This is yoga. So moving from that ugly, I don't know, to something which is the beautiful, wonderful, I know. I don't know is the pretext of yoga. Vismayo Yoga Bhumika, the Shiv Sutra says. To wonder is the pretext of yoga. And this is all yoga. You making a difference in somebody's life, you are in yoga. Yeah. Sometimes having chocolate cake and feeling the bliss after having chocolate cake is also yoga. Who said it is not yoga? But dreaming about chocolate 24/7 into 365 days, then there is something incorrect. Enjoying each and every moment is yoga. So whether we are enjoying it in a chocolate cake or in a satsang, beautiful singing by Nikhil, or anything else, but not holding on to forever and forever, then it becomes an attachment. Yes, and then it brings you away from yoga.
The next question is, how does one bring in a discipline in practicing yoga, not just at the physical level, like you mentioned, but also at the level of mind, at the level of self-referral?
Okay. So see, on the physical level, everybody knows that asana, pranayama, they work really well. Now, in the happiness program, I'm assuming that most of the people would have done happiness program, but in all the intro talks, we talk about this very simple thought process that there is something that connects our mind with our consciousness. And what is that? That is the breath. Through breath, you can control your mind, right? And even Maharshi Patanjali, he says, to be able to contain your mind, breath is a solution. So abhyasa on the physical level is also going to help you bring about a tranquility in the space of the mind. And then, of course, in the body, effort works. In the mind, effortlessness works. जहां हमारे शरीर में परिश्रम की जरूरत है, वहीं मन के तौर पे परिश्रम छोड़ने की बात की जाती है. Right? We can't And Gurudev always says that whatever you resist, always persist. If we try to, make our mind become calm, aaj mujhe bhai shanti chahiye. You will keep talking about it, you will not get shanti. The moment you drop it, you will be peaceful. So in the level of the mind, the effort does not work. But one need a guidance of a master, of a guru, to be able to calm down the mind. But yet, physical tools, that's why in the Hatha Yoga we say, we always begin from asana, pranayama, because this is something which is more tangible to the body and doable. But if I tell somebody, okay, you need to contain your mind. Now the person will say how to contain the mind. He doesn't know or she doesn't know. So there are tools in order to help calm the mind. And one of the simplest tool is Sudarshan Kriya and pranayamas. Changing the rhythm of the inhalation and exhalation is going to bring down the calmness in the mind.
Very often in our programs, the teachers ask us to observe the sensations and the prana. Can you please simplify this? What practice will enable us to observe this subtle prana?
Okay. So see, first of all, we need to know that there is prana flowing in the body. Is there anybody sitting in this session who does not have prana? I mean, there could be people. अच्छा, अभी एक सिंपल सा एक्सपेरिमेंट करते हैं, है ना? एंड ये जानते हैं कि अवेयरनेस लाते हैं कि हमारे शरीर में प्राण है ना? तो क्या करना है, अपने हाथों को अपने शरीर के आगे रखना है. Bring your hands in front of your body and we are going to shake our hands. Right? Shall we all do that? चलो, quickly. All the people, those who are behind the camera also, shake your hands. And अच्छे से shake करना है. Come on. Dr. Rajni, hi. धन्यवाद, आपने कैमरा ऑन किया. चलो. शाबाश. अच्छे से. And now close your eyes and continue just for 5-10 seconds more. And now gently stop and observe what is happening in and around the hand. You can gently place your hands on the knee and feel what is happening. And slowly and gradually, you may open your eyes. धीरे से आंखें खोल लें. Okay, so for how many of us truly we could feel that there was some movement in the hand? कितने लोगों को ऐसा लगा? हाथ खड़ा करो. अगर नहीं लगा तो अच्छे से हाथ नहीं हिलाया, है ना? अगर खाली ऐसा कर रहे होंगे तो कुछ नहीं पता लगेगा, है ना? देखिए, बट काफी लोगों को ऐसा लगा, महसूस हुआ. और क्या वो जो सेंसेशन, जो आपको स्पंदन महसूस हो रहा था, वो केवल हाथ में ही हो रहा था या हाथ के बाहर भी महसूस हो रहा था? For how many of you could feel it outside also? Raise your hands. Right? So many people understood, right? Now this is the prana which is flowing in the body and outside the body, right? And how to bring awareness into the sensations in the body? By silencing the mind. Right now, what we did was we were focused and are putting our attention into one particular thing. So there is an activity. So in asana, in generally when we say the asana, there is a definition that how an asana needs to be done. It says prayatna shaitilya ananta samapatti bhyam. So first you put in effort and then you let go of that effort. The moment you let go of effort, that is the time where your awareness becomes heightened. And this is the time where you are able to realize the movement of prana inside of body. Right? So that's why we always recommend, Gurudev also says that first do some activity. आसन करो, कुछ अपने शरीर में जो भी रजस है उसको हटाओ. Why you are not able to have awareness? Because there is too much of too much of activity in the body. So what first need to be done? The activity in the body needs to be reduced. The rajas in the body needs to be reduced. Then the more subtler you become, you'll be able to see the depths of your consciousness. And this is what meditation also helps you do. But sometimes you might not feel anything. तो गुरुदेव कहते हैं कि आप एक्सपीरियंस प्राप्त करने के लिए मेडिटेशन नहीं करते. You don't meditate or do practice because you are wanting to experience a certain thing. Because the experience differs from one person to the other. But how to increase the awareness? By becoming more silent, more aware, by calming down the mind, by calming down the body. Because the more settled you are in your body and the mind, the more you'll be able to witness the subtle things in life, in consciousness. Yes.
Absolutely. And to experience this, we also have an upcoming advanced meditation program with Kashi Bhaiya from the 25th of this month. So certainly, those of us who have joined can look forward to join that program and see how Bhaiya guides us step by step, leading us to this journey inwards. It's such a beautiful experience that is. Ashish Bhaiya, you could share a short story as to we see you coming with a technical background and then yoga so passionately, you pursuing this. What has been your experience in this yoga that could inspire so many of us joining here to stay motivated on this path?
Okay. So usually I tell people a very short story, but this story of course takes a lot of time, so I'm going to skip that story. I'm just going to restrict the story that of my life. But usually the combination of the two story really works well. But because of the time problem, I'll only restrict to my story. So I did my first course a couple of years back in 2004 with Kamlesh Didi. So many of you already know Kamlesh Barwal Didi. And that was my first year of my engineering, and I did my course. And every year I used to do Sudarshan Kriya once with Kamlesh Didi in the course. Other than that, I was never doing any Sudarshan Kriya. So that was my start of my journey. And from 2004, 5, 6, 7, for a couple of years, whenever she used to come to the college, I used to do Kriya. And then after that, I stopped doing Kriya. I had no idea about the Kriya. And it was until 2012, which was my first advanced meditation course. Luckily with Kashi Bhaiya, it was a very beautiful course. It was in Himachal, Kasauli. And that was the first time that I experienced, the stillness of the mind. And I started, I continued with the Sudarshan Kriya after that which never eventually stopped. But I was still trying to establish, myself as a businessman. I wanted to earn money. I wanted to get fame and whatnot. But somehow over a period of time, one business was failing and the other business was failing. But I always had this like unsatiable desire that it does not matter whether I have finances or not, I'll still be able to get into a business. So I was continuing that. But there was a stage in my life where I was so confused that I could be a full-time sevak, I could be a businessman, or I could be also an employee in a company. But I was not sure about my decision. So one fine day I asked Gurudev that, Gurudev, what should I do? And he said, what have you done? I told him that, I'm an engineer, an electrical engineer. And then he pulled my ear and he said, Arre, tumhara to screw dhila ho gaya. My nuts have gone loose. And he asked me like, what do you want to do in life? So I said that, Gurudev, I want to make my career in yoga. And then he looked somewhere and then he said, okay, wait for 1 year. And I waited. I did not have to wait for 1 year. I just waited for a couple of weeks. And Kamlesh Didi, of course, asked me to join Shish Yoga in Bangalore. So I moved from Himachal to Bangalore. And life as usual started happening, and everything was happening. I was taking yoga classes and all those things. But one fine day in the middle of the meeting, Kamlesh ji said, "तू क्या कर रहा है? तू एक काम कर, तू yoga school team में join कर as yoga faculty." So I started taking TTCs after that. But 15 days after the words of Kamlesh ji, I just tried to calculate that what was that particular day, and it exactly was the same day 1 year back when Kamlesh Didi asked me to shift to the school team as a trainer of Shishi School of Yoga. And 1 year back, Gurudev had told me that wait for 1 year. And then I realized that Gurudev's words are so powerful. And since that day, over a period of span of like 5 years, 6 years, my life has absolutely changed. I was also teaching yoga since 2012, but it was not working so well. Once in a blue moon, I used to teach yoga sessions and nothing really was happening. But here, everything came. And, and life is just miracle. Wherever you want, wherever you go, it's just a running miracle. I mean, you go to a place, you will have people wanting to host you, people wanting to drive you into in the best cars and best hotels and whatnot. So the journey has been absolutely beautiful. And the more you give, the more you receive. So I would just like to end my conversation with the beautiful thing that once happened in the ashram. So long, long time ago, not very far away, in the Vishalakshi Manta, when the satsangs used to be very small. Gurudev used to keep during those days toffees and chocolates with him, because the satsang was a very cozy and used to throw the chocolates and toffees at people. And there was a little child, 2-3 years old, with little tiny hands going towards the stage and asking Gurudev for toffees, and Gurudev lovingly giving the chocolates and toffees to him. And he could only hold 2-3 chocolates and toffees. He used to come back, and 2-3 minutes later, again, the child used to come back to the stage and again ask Gurudev, and then went back, again went Gurudev. And this kept on happening 5-6 times. Now there's this curious the devotee or the satsangi who told Gurudev that, Gurudev, you know what is happening? He's not even eating what you are sharing it with him. He's just going and, giving it all away. And Gurudev said something very beautiful. He said, as long he keeps sharing, I will keep giving. And this is the most beautiful thing that we all need to be aware of this fact. The more you share in your life, the more comes to you. Because, riches do not come by having the best mobile phone in the hand, by sitting on the biggest cars in the world. It's just from being here to be able to be this person who gives. From a person who wants to the person who gives. This makes you utterly rich. Yes. So it's a change of attitude. It's change of mind that we all need to make sure.
It was absolutely lovely time with you, Bhaiya. These small stories, the analogies, I mean, it's really so very informative. And I'm sure many who want to join can definitely join us for the monthly program of yogas. We've been taught by none other than Bhaiya. हमारे टीचर यही है yoga के. And sometimes you can even request him for a day or two to join us for a physical session of yoga. So you can always participate. You can connect to us. We'll put the numbers on the chat box, or the Shri Yoga Level 1 program. And of course, the AMP with Kashi Bhaiya. And yes, we can end with a bhajan or two. Nikhil ji, we would love to hear more of that. Thank you once again, Bhaiya, for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Let's sing one beautiful song of Shiva.
नाथ शंभुवे शिवाय शंकर नमो नमो जय शंकर भोलेनाथ शंकर रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा रुद्रदेव हे महेश्वरा
Let's keep our eyes closed. विश्राम की ओर चलते हैं.
ना कुछ किया ना कर सके ना कुछ करने यो जो कुछ किया सो आप किया आप ही करने यो श्री राधे मुझ में गुण कहाँ जो मैं गाऊं गला पसार मुझको तो इतनो भलो पड़ा रहूं तेरे द्वार मेरो राधा रमण गिरधारी गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी मेरो राधा रमण गिरधारी गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी मेरो राधा रमण गिरधारी गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी मेरो राधा रमण गिरधारी गिरधारी श्याम बनवारी गोविंद मेरो है गोपाल मेरो है श्री बांके बिहारी नंद लाल मेरो है श्री बांके बिहारी नंद लाल मेरो है गोविंद मेरो है गोपाल मेरो है जय जय राधा रमण हरि बोल 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 लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति